Hello there, and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. On the program, Lagos State celebrates first civilian governor of the state, the late Alhaji Lateef Jakande. Call him a man of many caps. Well, you may not be wrong. The late Alhaji Lateef Jakande, who greatly influenced the development of the commercial nerve center of the country, is being celebrated as the Lagos State government paid tributes to the legend.
Tutelage to be able to arrive.
Alhaji Lateef Jakande, well known as Baba Kekere, was born on July 23, 1929 in Ekpetedo, Lagos. The first civilian governor of Lagos State, described as the architect of modern Lagos. The celebration of his good works towards the people is the reason for this large crowd at the Onikan Stadium, a day of tribute in honor of the man who influenced the socio-political landscape of Lagos. Children of the late politician, dignitaries who served with his government, members of the State Executive Council, House of Assembly members, students and many more are here to celebrate the legend.
I think we can applaud Mr. Deputy Governor better.
The listening will rapt attention as the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Kadri Hamzat, speaks about the good works of the journalist turned politician.
Quite an accomplished Democrat, a selfless and purposeful leader, Alhaji Jakande defined the essence of leadership. He lived what he believed and what he preached. Many Nigerians, especially the citizens of Lagos State, will always remember the various life-impacting and people-oriented programs, such as the housing schemes, free education, and specifically the elimination of the shift system in our primary and secondary schools, which gave many Lagosians the opportunity to go to school who ordinarily would not have had the chance to do so. It was who started the LTV-8 and Radio Lagos, just as his leader, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, did when he founded the first television station in Africa. Many beneficiaries declare and attest to just how much the opportunity given them at that time meant to their existence and their lives today. As the history of Lagos is being told, and when the geniuses of history pen the indelible words of great and little actions of men, a page, I'm sure, will be penned in gold of a man who envisioned and translated the desires of many of his people to reality. LKJ was a man of many parts, a journalist of repute, a great politician, an accomplished administrator, and a devoted father and a devoted husband. Indeed, LKJ was a detribalized Nigerian. He demonstrated forthrightness, a rare commodity in the political marketplace of his days.
1979, Alhaji Jakande ran and won for election for the position of Executive Governor of Lagos State on the platform of the Unity Party of Nigeria, serving for a period of 4 years. Those who had the opportunity to serve with him say he was a man of the people who will never be forgotten.
Alhaji Dr. Lateef Jakande was an epitome of discipline, especially as regards the party, UPN. A passionate progressive, a lover of his people, and above all, a person who pursued whatever he believed in with commitment and dedication. I would say this was why this attribute of him, that was why he was able to overcome all the obstacles against his government when he was in power.
My association with Alhaji Jakande began when I was elected to the House of Representatives in 1979. He gave us a free hand, and he never questions most of what he did. But privately, he monitors what goes on in that house. And some of us took it as a responsibility to report to him the affairs of that house. But I will make a short reference to what is not known to most of the people here. That was the period of his incarceration in the prison in Lagos here. After about a month, he was removed to different places. I mean the detainees. And he was sent to Sokoto prison. I was the major channel of the communication between him and the whole world at that time. I sent him cuttings from papers and stories which I also had. He was very appreciative of this. And as a result of this, he decided to write a book because unemployment was the rage of the society at this time. Then he started the work on what he called full employment for all Nigerians. I believe this book is yet to be published. Perhaps it may be published after his passing. But what I can say about it is that the problem of the country is evermost present in the mind of Alhaji Jakande done in his lifetime. And I think with this tribute is not short of what should have been to him. But I pray that his departure will bring a brighter Nigeria, and that his family and some of those who associated with or ourselves with him will continue to follow the path he laid behind.
There are three things for which Alhaji Jakande stood out as personal attributes. One, he was a man of honor. He believes that once you take honor away from a man, he's left with nothing. And that was why he faithfully implemented the 4 cardinal programs of the Unity Party of Nigeria that sponsored him into office. Before his inauguration, the outgoing military administrator advised him to go back to the people and say that given the situation on ground, he could no longer implement free education. Alhaji Jakande's reply can bear repetition here. He thanked the military administrator and said, no man of honor would dare do such a thing. A 2-way contract, one side had been performed. For him to renege on that promise would make him dishonorable. He would not do so.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu knows exactly what it's like to rule a state like Lagos, saying he's grateful to be a beneficiary of the LKJ's legacy. He announces the establishment of the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy to help build future leaders.
Alhaji Lateef Jakande succeeded in ensuring a level playing field for all of an entire generation of children who probably would not have known what the 4 walls of classrooms look like. Today, all those children have become accomplished professionals, one of them standing here today humbly, and have become leaders on all of our shores of human endeavor on account of the educational opportunity made available by Baba Kekere, Alhaji Lateef Jakande. I was a beneficiary of all of those decisions. It is difficult to pass on anything in the name of Alhaji Jakande, because whilst he was alive, everything around this state has the emblem of Jakande in it. Do we want to begin to rekindle schools? Do we want to begin to rename hospitals? Or do we want to begin to rename housing estates that are already Jakande by nature? So to immortalize Alhaji Jakande is an everyday activity for us as a government. But for me, is to say that we're going to set up an endowment that is going to be called the Lateef Jakande Leadership Fellowship Academy. This is what we believe that the transformational leadership that Alhaji Jakande stood for, that indeed we can create leaders of tomorrow on a year-on-year basis, have 20, 30 leaders that can stand and live the spirit and the aspiration of Alhaji Lateef Jakande. And that will be backed up by the Enabling Act, by the Enabling Law, and will give it a teeth that generations that are coming behind us will not be able to reverse.
His children are grateful for such recognition.
I'd like to invite Member House of Representatives, Honorable Deji Jakande. Please, can we put our hands together for him as he comes forward to respond on behalf of the family.
Sir, I just want to add one or two to all the responses about my father. He was a great man, but at the same time, he had time for the family. And his death has given us a great challenge. I've met with my siblings, and we have decided that we would keep the good name going, because all eyes are on us. Sir, permit me to appreciate the planning committee for this event that kicked off today.
When you see the kind of end, it's not like it is not expected, considering the magnitude of what he has given out, but witnessing it, we only further give you that push, to just to try to do exactly everything that he has done.
Lateef Jakande is a man of many parts who touched many lives in the area of education, housing, road construction and transportation. His impact on the commercial nerve center of the country will forever etch in the nation's history.
Lagosians, we are recording more cases of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic every day. The second wave is spreading like wildfire in our communities. It is deadlier, spreads faster, and kills faster. Our isolation centers are getting filled up, and more patients are on oxygen. More people are dying, and the young ones are not left out. You don't need to die in ignorance or arrogance and foolishness. Observe all the precautions. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water. If you don't have access to water and soap, please use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Use your face mask properly and regularly. If you have to go out or be in public, avoid large crowds. Observe social distance always. Do not hug. If it's not important, stay at home. Most common symptoms include fever, dry cough or tiredness, aches and pains, sore throat, loss of taste or smell. Serious symptoms include shortness of breath, chest pain or loss of speech. Should you have any of these symptoms or know someone who does, please call the 24/7 EcoTelemed toll-free line on 0800 035 6633. We must take responsibility for our health and lives. We must fight coronavirus by being responsible. Please observe all precautions. The second wave of coronavirus is killing faster than you can imagine. Stay safe. Be responsible. Don't waste your life. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe, Lagos State Government announcer.
We're not done celebrating the first civilian governor of Lagos. The state government also held a special Jumat and 40-day memorial Thanksgiving service in honor of the late Alhaji Lateef Jakande. Take a look.
It's another gathering of Muslim faithfuls at the Alausa Central Mosque, all for Alhaji Lateef Jakande. His wife, children, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Kadri Hamzat, and many others are here for the special Jumat service in his honor. The Muslim cleric says Alhaji Jakande, who was also a former Minister of Works, served for 51 months and changed the face of the entire state, that everyone still benefits till date.
Baba Kekere convincingly proved the word of a real Muslim in thought and in action by surpassing the performance record of most other governors in Nigeria. I want to tell you here that Baba Jakande ruled Lagos for only 51 months. 51 months. He was sworn in October 1st, 1979. And he left the throne December 31st, 1983. Exactly 51 months. Between this short period, he built both primary and secondary schools, hundreds of them to provide the grassroots children privilege of attending schools free of charge in their various locations. His own children also attended the same public primary school and public secondary school as well. Baba had a genuine and unflinching mission for Lagos State.
How to build a better Nigeria is a message from the Deputy Governor Kadri Hamzat. For him, everyone must take responsibility for their family in order to achieve the nation we all dream of.
You must understand that the world is dynamic. So what is landmark today might not be landmark in 20 years' time. So and so on and so forth. So, I mean, you can build bridges, you can build whatever, which of course we are doing. So, but what is important also is the mind. How do we build that mind so that the Nigerian child, Nigerian citizen can be first class anywhere in the world? That's the most important. And that's why one of our pillars is actually about education. It's key. So the foundation at the time was to make sure that those 3 shifts were cancelled. But we should keep building on it. Now it's cancelled. So what is the outcome of that process? That's what we are building on.
Then to the Chapel of Christ the Light, Alausa, for the 40th day memorial service of the legendary politician. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his wife Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, wife of the late Alhaji Lateef Jakande, Mrs. Abiola Jakande, his children, former Deputy Governor of Lagos Adejoke Orelope Adefulire, members of the State Executive Council, clerics and many others are here to pay their last respects to the first civilian governor of Lagos.
Beloved, let me welcome you all to this memorial service.
And the sermon was delivered. The Lord Bishop, Diocese of Lagos, Right Reverend Onfre Olumakaye, who urges political office holders to see their position as a great opportunity to serve the people.
Politics and the pursuit of political position and privileges are meant for the exclusive desire to serve the majority of the people, with a view to make available to them the privileges that comes with being responsible citizens, such as the provision of infrastructures for the common good of the people by those in position of privilege and authority. Politics and political office is great opportunity to serve and benefit the people. Live for something good, do good, and leave behind you a monument of virtue that storms of life can never destroy. Beloved, live to be righteous. Righteous people never die. They live on after death. Alhaji Lateef Jakande, a political gladiator, an accomplished journalist of repute, whose legacy and leadership style is infectious, a solid administrator, whose name can never be forgotten in the history of books of administration and governance in Lagos and across Nigeria. Will Rogers wrote, "Life is a country, but you cannot live in it for nothing. We just have to make our mark in life and leave footprints on the sands of time." As someone put it, a life spent worldly should be remembered by deeds and not by years.
Governor Sanwo-Olu says LKJ will forever remain in the hearts of Lagosians because he laid a foundation that cannot be erased.
Because this is a service that is indeed deserving for our late father, the first civilian governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Jakande. Like we said, we cannot celebrate him enough, and we will continue to celebrate him forever. It's really a testimonial that everybody has been rendering for the life that this detribalized Nigerian, an outstanding Lagosian, a man that indeed had built the foundation that all of us are enjoying today, a man that indeed he saw his name written even before he went to join Almighty God, but a man that will continue to live in the life, in the heart of many children, and even children that are unborn, because he has indeed laid a foundation for something that nobody can erase. Alhaji Lateef Jakande, aka Baba Kekere, because it's said in the book of Romans that for if we live, Romans 14 verse 8, for if we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So then, whether we live or whether we die, we are of the Lord. And it's also synonymous with what the Lord Bishop had preached today, that the righteous, they live forever. He had admonished and had said to us that the definition of righteous is not being an angel, is not being a saint, is a man that has taught life while he's alive, is a man that has built bridges for others to follow, is a man that has used his position to create opportunities for others, is a man that has taught people that can never be able to pay him back. That is the definition of the righteous. And so you can see that indeed, when they say that the righteous will live forever, indeed, Baba has earned it, and we know that he will continue to live forever.
Alhaji Lateef Jakande is described as a humble, visionary leader who devoted a major part of his 91 years for the good of the people.
Dear Lagosians, the second wave of the deadly coronavirus pandemic is here. Its new strain is easily transmitted and deadlier. Coronavirus symptoms are fever, dry cough, tiredness, difficulty in breathing. We can all prevent the spread of this virus through appropriate and regular use of face masks, avoiding close contact with people who are at high risk, washing our hands regularly with soap and running water, especially after visiting the toilet, before eating, and after coughing or sneezing, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, maintaining at least 1.5 meters or 5 feet distance from anyone coughing or sneezing, covering our mouths with tissue while coughing or sneezing, and thrashing the tissue. If you feel unwell and show symptoms of coronavirus, or you notice anyone who does, please call the Lagos State Emergency Hotlines 08000 ECOMED or 0803 3356 5529. Many are dead. Don't fall victim or die in ignorance. Report now. Together, we will overcome this challenge. Igbega Ipinle Eko, Ajumoshini, Lagos State Government. Announcer.
Well, that's where we end this week's edition of Dateline Lagos. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Until we come your way again next time, stay safe.